So in this video we're going to have a look at this fantastic track by Hot Natured and Ali Love called Benediction. Came out last year, 2012, and it's got a really summery vibe to it, and I want to get inside and have a look at the musical elements. I've got Logic 10 here, and also the Logic Control app on the iPad. It's the free app that comes with Logic. I'm really getting into it. And I've got my keyboard as well, so we can have a look at the chords and the bass lines and that kind of thing. So first of all, let's have a listen to the sections. There's three main sections that I'm going to look at, and I've mapped these out using Logic's markers, which I've also coloured to make it a bit easier. And what's great about the iPad app is that I can skip to each section just by selecting it here. So let's start off with the intro. I'm just going to give that a little play. This is just the original track. So this is our first chord sequence, and then we have the verse section. This is where the vocal first comes in and the bass line drops out. Feel it coming on. I waited for so long. It's really nice. And then we have the chorus section where strings come in and the bass line's back, and this is a different chord progression. And then we also have this instrumental section where this kind of keyboard riff comes in. I'm just going to play that to you now. It's like a really kind of clipped vibraphone sound. Really like that. So first of all, let's have a look at the key signature. I'm just going to bring up my keyboard. So let's play along. So we're in A minor for this track. Very simple, and this is the natural minor as well, so it's all the white notes. Very, very simple. And while I was working this track out, I couldn't help thinking that it sounded like something else, and it finally hit me, and the track that I was thinking of was this one. It's by The Police, called Spirits in the Material World, classic tune. I'm just going to play you the chorus now. We are spirits in the material world. So we have this vibe here, which sounds very similar to the chorus of this track. And even stranger is that the first chord of this intro section of the Hot Natured track is an A, and then when you get to the chorus, it goes to the D, which is the 4 chord. So we'll have a look at that in a bit more detail in a minute, but I just thought I'd mention it anyway. So let's kick off with this track. I'm going to go back to the intro. I've just sketched in a beat. Here we go. I'm just going to play it to you now. So let's start off with the chords of this intro section. Here we go, and let's record this in. So what do we have here? We've got an A minor chord here. These are all triads. Then going to a G major chord. Then down to an F major chord. So this is the 1 chord, this is the 7 chord, and this is the 6 chord. Very simple. And you notice there's that kind of quite interesting rhythm as well. A lot of anticipation there. It's also worth noting that I have quantize on here. So everything that's being recorded is being quantized to 16A swing. So let's have a look at the bass line now. And this is underpinning those chords, but there's a lot of movement. It's quite a rolling kind of bass line. So let's record that in and see what that sounds like. So there we go, and it's working really nicely with the chords as well, kind of playing in the spaces. It's kind of really giving it a lot of funk. So now we've got the bass and the chords in, let's have a look at this string sound. I'm just going to bring that up here. And the strings really lift the tune, especially in the chorus, and they also provide a really nice kind of melodic element before the vocal comes in. So let's record this in. There we go, just caught the first note there. So there you go, we have the strings, the bass and the chords from this intro section. Now let's have a look at the verse section. I'm just going to play that again just to remind ourselves what it sounds like. Feel it coming on. So here we start off on the 6th chord, which is the F major triad. Basically kind of different combination of these chords, but then it changes a little bit. It goes to down to this chord here, which is an E minor triad, and this is the 5 chord. So let's record this in and see what it sounds like. And as I mentioned before, there's no bass line there, it's just the vocal and these chords. And then we're going to move on to the chorus section. And as I mentioned before, this starts on the 4 chord, which is this D minor triad. So let's record that in. There we go, so we have that part in. And the bass line is pretty simple, it's just following those chords. So let's record that in. So there we have it. And then the other element that comes in is the strings. And this is the second half of this intro strings that we had here. So all I'm going to do here is just chop that there. And I'm just going to copy that over. Cool, so lastly, let's just have a look at this instrumental section that I mentioned before. This is just over here. Let's have a listen to that. And this is over these verse chords here, so I'm just going to copy those over. And let's just go on to this sound. So let's just play this riff in. So there we go, and this is pretty much based on this A minor triad. We have this D in there as well. So there we go, I'm just going to trim the start of this region and just copy it over. So there we have our different sections. I just want to quickly show you the sounds that I'm using here. First of all, we've got these synth chords, And this I created using the retro synth, and I used the analog section here. I used 2 saw waves. They're pretty much mixed together, but one of the oscillators is tuned slightly higher. And the key to getting this sound is this filter envelope, which I've got here. And you can see that I've got this shape here. If I bring this filter cutoff up, you can hear that sound there. So that's that. And then for the deep bass sound, I've just got a simple ES1. I think this is based on the preset, the deep bass preset, but I just kind of messed around a little bit with the cutoff frequency. Then we have this string sound, and this I believe is one of the GarageBand settings actually. It's called Massive Strings. And again, I had a play with the cutoff frequency and the resonance as well, just to try to get it sounding similar to the original track. And then finally we have our vibraphone here, and for this I just used a standard factory vibraphone sound, but I took the decay and the sustain right down on this to give it that kind of clipped sound. If I take that up again, you can hear how it affects that. And I also changed it to monophonic as well, so that the notes didn't hang over. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that deconstruction of this great track.
At Point Blank Online, you've got 2 methods of interaction with your tutor. Firstly, you've got the weekly online masterclass, which is in real time. And then also we've got feedback on your assignments, and that's known as DVR. So the online masterclass is a 1-hour session you get with your tutor every week. You can ask questions about lesson content and get instant feedback, and also demonstrations on the fly from their computer desktop with our streaming technology. DVR stands for Direct Video Response, and the concept is really simple. You upload your Ableton Logic or Cubase project file to your tutor, he downloads it and then pushes record on the screen capturing software and evaluates your work, so basically giving you one-to-one feedback. You see all of the mouse movements and any parameter changes made by your tutor. It's kind of like sitting in the studio over their shoulder watching what they're doing whilst they work. We have found the DVR process has truly revolutionized the way that we teach online, and the results speak for themselves. Book your place on a course now by visiting pointblankonline.net.